The man who made television morally dangerous. David Chase. David Chase did not set out to make television comfortable. His mystery begins with a simple question that haunted every episode he ever touched. What happens when a man understands his own darkness but refuses to change? When audiences first met Tony Soprano, they were not given a hero or a villain. They were given a man who could be gentle one moment and terrifying the next. Chase understood something television had avoided for decades. People are not meant to be explained. They are meant to be watched. What made Chase revolutionary was his refusal to guide the viewer morally. He never told you who to root for. He let silence linger after violence. He let therapy sessions feel more dangerous than gunfights. In his world, consequences did not arrive neatly by the end of an episode. They leaked slowly into family dinners, casual conversations, and moments of quiet guilt. This was not crime television. It was character exposure. The true mystery of David Chase is restraint. He trusted boredom. He trusted ambiguity. He trusted the audience to sit with discomfort. Even the ending of his most famous work refused to explain itself, forcing viewers to confront their own need for closure. Chase proved that television could behave like real life, unresolved, unfair, and unsettling. After him, TV was no longer a place for easy answers. It became a mirror, and not everyone liked what they saw staring back. The architect of the slow moral collapse, Vince Gilligan. Vince Gilligan's mystery is patience. Where most television rushes toward spectacle, Gilligan believed transformation should be slow enough that you barely notice it happening. When viewers first met Walter White, he was not a monster. He was tired, humiliated, and quietly furious at the world. Gilligan understood that evil is far more believable when it begins as justification. One bad choice, then another. Then a lifetime of rationalizing what can never be undone. What set Gilligan apart was his commitment to cause and effect. Nothing happened by accident. Every action left residue. Every lie required a bigger one to survive. Violence was never stylish. It was ugly, shocking, and emotionally expensive. Gilligan made viewers complicit by letting them root for Walter long after they should have stopped. By the time the truth became undeniable, it was already too late. That discomfort was intentional. The real secret behind Gilligan's storytelling is empathy without forgiveness. He allowed you to understand his characters without excusing them. He showed how pride corrodes slowly, how power intoxicates quietly, and how self-awareness does not equal redemption. In his world, intelligence is not a shield against self-destruction. It is often the weapon that speeds it up. Gilligan didn't just tell a story about a man becoming evil. He showed how easily anyone might take the same path, one reasonable step at a time. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. We all thank you for your continued support. The creator who turned drama into an empire, Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes' mystery is scale. She did not just create stories, she created momentum. Her shows did not feel like weekly television events. They felt like emotional commitments. From the very beginning, Rhimes understood something powerful about audiences. People don't just want twists. They want relationships that feel alive, messy, and constantly at risk. Love, betrayal, loyalty, and ambition were never side plots. They were the engine. What made Rhimes different was her ability to make intensity feel normal. Characters argued, broke down, fell apart, and came back stronger, all within the same world. Her dialogue moved fast, but the emotions hit hard. Hospitals, courtrooms, and political halls became pressure chambers where personal and professional lives collided without warning. Viewers didn't tune in to relax. They tuned in to feel. The true mystery of Shonda Rhimes is control. She built a storytelling machine where pacing, casting, music, and cliffhangers worked together with surgical precision. Diversity was not presented as a statement. It was presented as reality. Power belonged to women who were flawed, driven, and unapologetically complex. Rhimes proved that network television could still feel urgent, modern, and culturally dominant. She didn't chase prestige. She redefined success by making television addictive, emotional, and impossible to ignore. The mastermind behind television's endless machine. Dick Wolf. Dick Wolf's mystery is endurance. While most showrunners chase reinvention, Wolf built something far more difficult to achieve: consistency that never feels exhausted. His universe does not rely on flashy twists or personal mythologies. It relies on structure, rhythm, and the quiet confidence that stories drawn from reality never truly run out. Crime, after all, is endless. So are the questions surrounding justice. What makes Wolf fascinating is his restraint. His shows are not about heroes with tortured pasts or villains seeking sympathy. They are about systems. Police departments, courtrooms, procedures, and rules that grind forward regardless of personal emotion. Characters come and go, but the world remains. That decision allowed his work to outlive actors, trends, and even generations of viewers. The format became the star. The deeper mystery of Dick Wolf lies in trust. He trusted the audience to understand the rules quickly and stay for the variations. He trusted realism over romance. Cases often end without comfort. Justice is sometimes incomplete. Truth does not always bring relief. Wolf transformed television into a reliable ritual, something viewers could return to night after night, knowing exactly what kind of experience awaited them. In doing so, he didn't just create shows. He created a framework that television still relies on decades later, quietly shaping how stories are told through repetition and discipline. The king of mass appeal comedy, Chuck Lorre. Chuck Lorre's mystery is accessibility. While others chased cleverness or prestige, Lorre focused on something far more elusive, making millions of people laugh at the same time. His worlds were familiar, domestic, and intentionally unglamorous. Living rooms, apartments, and workplaces became stages where insecurity, loneliness, and ego played out through humor. Lorre understood that comedy works best when it feels close to home. What set him apart was his ability to turn discomfort into laughter. His characters were often selfish, immature, emotionally stuck, or socially awkward. Instead of punishing them, the writing exposed their flaws again and again until the audience recognized something uncomfortably human beneath the jokes. The laughs were fast, but the themes were surprisingly heavy. Fear of aging, fear of intimacy, fear of being left behind. The deeper mystery of Chuck Lorre is repetition as honesty. He did not chase reinvention because he believed people don't change easily. His characters circled the same mistakes, learned the same lessons, and failed in familiar ways. That rhythm made his shows reliable, but also revealing. Beneath the laugh tracks and punchlines was a consistent message. People are messy, defensive, and deeply afraid of being alone. Lorre didn't write comedy to impress critics. He wrote it to connect, and in doing so, he became one of television's most influential storytellers without ever needing to look serious. The showrunner who turned confusion into art. David Lynch. David Lynch's mystery begins where logic ends. He approached television the same way he approached dreams, not as puzzles to be solved, but as experiences to be felt. When audiences entered his world, they were not given rules or explanations. They were given moods, images, sounds, and unease. Lynch trusted that confusion itself could be meaningful. What made Lynch radical was his refusal to protect the viewer. Scenes lingered too long. Conversations felt slightly wrong. Ordinary places hid something rotten underneath. He understood that fear is most powerful when it is undefined. Rather than guiding interpretation, he invited discomfort and silence. Television had never felt so hypnotic or so unsettling. Watching his work was less like following a story and more like wandering through someone else's subconscious. The true mystery of David Lynch is sincerity. His surrealism was never ironic. He believed deeply in what he was creating, even when it made no sense on the surface. Violence was sudden. Innocence was fragile. Evil often arrived without explanation. By blending the familiar with the terrifying, Lynch expanded what television could be. He proved that TV did not need clarity to be powerful. It only needed atmosphere, intention, and the courage to let audiences feel lost. After Lynch, television had permission to be strange, unsettling, and deeply personal without apology. The storyteller who trusted. Uncertainty. Damon Lindelof. Damon Lindelof's mystery is faith without answers. He never promised clarity. He promised emotion. From the beginning, his stories asked viewers to sit with questions that might never be resolved. Rather than treating mystery as a puzzle to be solved, Lindelof treated it as a condition of being human. Life does not explain itself, and neither did his television. What made Lindelof stand out was his focus on grief, belief, and meaning. His characters were not driven by logic alone. They were driven by loss, guilt, and the desperate need to believe that suffering had purpose. Supernatural elements were never the point. They were pressure tools, forcing people to reveal who they really were when certainty disappeared. The deeper mystery of Lindelof lies in restraint. He learned when to let go. He understood that explaining everything often destroys what makes a story powerful. Silence, ambiguity, and emotional honesty mattered more than mythology. His best work didn't ask viewers to decode it. It asked them to feel it. By trusting the audience with unresolved ideas, Lindelof changed the relationship between television and its viewers. He proved that not knowing can be more moving than understanding, and that sometimes the most honest ending is one that leaves space instead of answers. The creator who made silence louder than dialogue. Matthew Weiner. Matthew Weiner's mystery is subtlety. He never shouted, he whispered. Every pause, every glance, every carefully composed frame in his shows carried weight. Audiences were drawn not by spectacle, but by tension beneath the surface, by the quiet battles that raged inside characters who seemed perfectly controlled on the outside. Weiner understood that human complexity cannot always be spoken. What made him revolutionary was his mastery of restraint. A character might sip a drink, adjust a tie, or light a cigarette, and in those small actions, entire worlds of fear, desire, and ambition unfolded. Words were tools, yes, but silence was the weapon. He created a television language where what wasn't said often mattered more than what was. Conversations felt like tests, and viewers became detectives of emotion. The deeper mystery of Matthew Weiner lies in his commitment to realism wrapped in elegance. Life's dramas rarely resolve neatly, and his shows reflected that. Power, betrayal, and longing existed in subtle gestures and lingering expressions. He demanded attention, patience, and empathy from viewers. By doing so, Weiner elevated television into art that required reflection, proving that a quiet moment can resonate longer than a monologue. In his hands, silence spoke louder than words ever could. The writer who turned conversations into battles. Aaron Sorkin. Aaron Sorkin's mystery is rhythm. His shows do not merely tell stories, they perform them. Dialogue is not just communication. It is energy, urgency, and argument all at once. Characters speak quickly, sharply, and with a precision that makes viewers lean forward, feeling the tension in every line. Sorkin understood that words could be weapons, and television could be a stage for intellectual combat. What made him revolutionary was his ability to fuse moral clarity with human imperfection. His protagonists are often brilliant, principled, and flawed in equal measure. They argue not for drama's sake, but because the stakes are real and the ideas matter. The pacing of conversations mirrors life under pressure. Decisions must be made, consequences must be faced, and every moment carries weight. The deeper mystery of Aaron Sorkin lies in his belief in dialogue as storytelling. Scenes do not simply advance the plot. They expose character, ambition, and the soul of a system. Politics, law, and media are transformed into arenas for human emotion and intellect. Sorkin proved that talking could be thrilling, that argument could be poetic, and that television could be smart without losing its emotional punch. Every script became a duel, and the audience was caught in the crossfire, exhilarated, challenged, and captivated. The mind that made power feel personal. Jesse Armstrong. Jesse Armstrong's mystery lies in intimacy disguised as chaos. His worlds are sprawling, full of ambition, betrayal, and high-stakes maneuvering. Yet the tension is never just political or corporate. It is personal. He understood that power does not exist in isolation. It flows through families, friendships, and fragile egos. Every decision has emotional consequences, often devastatingly private. What makes Armstrong unique is his ability to blend sharp wit with dark insight. Dialogue is crisp, biting, and often hilarious. Yet beneath the humor lies ruthless observation. Characters stumble through their ambitions, masking fear, insecurity, and moral compromise. The audience laughs, but also recognizes the discomfort of watching someone wield influence poorly yet effectively, in ways that mirror our own flawed choices. The deeper mystery of Jesse Armstrong is his precision. Every line, every scene, and every plot twist is calibrated to reveal both spectacle and intimacy. He trusts viewers to follow complex power dynamics without explanation, to feel rather than be told. In Armstrong's hands, power is never distant or abstract. It is human, messy, and emotionally resonant. Television becomes a lens into ambition, ego, and vulnerability, leaving audiences both entertained and quietly unsettled, reflecting on the ways they themselves navigate influence and morality. The showrunner who bent time and logic. Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat's mystery is cleverness that conceals depth. At first glance, his shows dazzle with twists, turns, and mind-bending timelines. Audiences are drawn in by puzzles, but Moffat's true brilliance lies beneath the surface, in the way he uses narrative complexity to illuminate character and emotion. Time is never just a gimmick. It is a mirror reflecting choice, consequence, and identity. What sets Moffat apart is his audacity. He trusts viewers to follow intricate storylines, often looping and folding in ways that challenge comprehension. Yet amid the chaos, he never loses the human heart. Complicated plots reveal simple truths about loyalty, love, courage, and sacrifice. Even when the narrative confounds, the emotional stakes remain clear and compelling. The deeper mystery of Stephen Moffat lies in playfulness with purpose. His cleverness is never empty. Every twist, paradox, and revelation serves the story and deepens connection to the characters. He demonstrates that intelligence in storytelling can coexist with empathy and excitement. In Moffat's world, television becomes both a puzzle and a journey, challenging audiences while rewarding emotional investment. Time, memory, and logic are tools. But the real story is always human, complex, and unforgettable. The mythmaker who loved moral gray zones. Kurt Sutter. Kurt Sutter's mystery is darkness that feels intimate. He did not shy away from violence, vice, or the ugly parts of human nature. Instead, he made them relatable. His characters are not simply villains or heroes. They are contradictions, capable of tenderness and brutality, loyalty and betrayal, often within the same breath. Sutter understood that television becomes unforgettable when morality is messy. What set him apart was his insistence on consequence. Actions had weight, and choices left scars, both physical and emotional. His stories did not reward the strong or punish the weak predictably. Instead, he captured the chaos of life, where mistakes accumulate, intentions misfire, and survival sometimes depends on cruelty. Even humor emerges from the darkness, sharp, biting, and ironic. The deeper mystery of Kurt Sutter lies in empathy through extremity. He asked audiences to connect with flawed, often unlikable characters while never sanitizing their reality. His world is brutal but lived in, a mirror of fear, ambition, and desire. By exploring moral gray zones with care and conviction, Sutter reshaped television's landscape, proving that stories about outlaws, misfits, and anti-heroes could carry emotional truth and leave viewers unsettled, enthralled, and quietly haunted long after the screen goes dark. The creator who made paranoia cinematic. Sam Esmail. Sam Esmail's mystery is tension made visible. He did not simply tell stories. He built worlds where anxiety, surveillance, and doubt hung in the air like fog. Every frame, every shadow, and every camera angle contributed to a sense that nothing was certain and no one was safe. Esmail understood that modern fear is psychological, creeping into the mind quietly before it explodes into action. What made him revolutionary was his control over perspective. Viewers often see only what the characters see, hear only what they hear, and feel only what they feel. Reality is fragmented, unreliable, and intentionally disorienting. Esmail used these techniques to make viewers complicit in the tension, to make them question not just the story, but their own instincts and assumptions. The deeper mystery of Sam Esmail lies in orchestration. Every moment of paranoia, every pause, every visual cue is meticulously calculated. Technology, isolation, and human fragility intersect in a way that feels immediate and personal. Esmail proved that television could be cinematic, cerebral, and emotionally gripping simultaneously. His work does not just depict fear, it immerses audiences in it, crafting an experience that is both thrilling and profoundly unsettling. A mirror for the anxiety of the modern world. The voice that broke the fourth wall and the rules. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's mystery is honesty disguised as chaos. She did not just write characters. She created mirrors in which viewers recognize their own insecurities, flaws, and contradictions. Her worlds are raw, funny, and devastatingly human, where awkwardness, desire, and self-sabotage collide in ways that feel uncannily familiar. She understands that discomfort can be entertaining, illuminating, and transformative all at once. What sets her apart is her audacity to speak directly to the audience. She breaks rules, shatters conventions, and lets viewers in on secrets no other characters know. This intimacy transforms comedy into confession, absurdity into revelation, and flawed characters into companions. Even in moments of extreme dysfunction, there is clarity, a brutal, unflinching understanding of human behavior. The deeper mystery of Phoebe Waller-Bridge lies in empathy through imperfection. She captures the universal anxiety of being alive while making it laughable, poignant, and painfully real. Her dialogue dances between wit and vulnerability, turning trivial moments into profound reflections. In doing so, Waller-Bridge redefined what television can do. She proved that humor, honesty, and audacity can coexist, and that television can feel personal, confessional, and utterly unfiltered while still being irresistibly entertaining. The pioneer who proved TV could change society. Norman Lear. Norman Lear's mystery is influence. He did not just create shows, he created conversations. Long before social media, before streaming, Lear understood that television could shape culture, challenge norms, and confront uncomfortable truths. His worlds were sitcoms, yes, but beneath the laughter lay urgent questions about race, class, politics, and morality. Lear treated television as both mirror and teacher. What set him apart was his courage. Characters grappled with topics that were taboo or ignored elsewhere. Divorce, racism, poverty, and generational conflict. Humor was never superficial. It was the lens through which society could examine itself. Viewers laughed, but they also reflected, argued, and sometimes protested. Lear's shows became platforms for dialogue, not just entertainment. The deeper mystery of Norman Lear lies in balance. He knew how to entertain without diluting the message, how to provoke thought without alienating audiences. His work demonstrated that television could be both popular and socially significant. Lear proved that characters could be funny, flawed, and human while still embodying larger societal truths. In doing so, he transformed television from passive amusement into a force capable of challenging perceptions, sparking discussion, and leaving a lasting impact on culture itself. Television's greatest showrunners didn't just tell stories. They changed how we feel, think, and see the world. From moral ambiguity to raw honesty, their work proves that TV's power lies in touching minds and hearts long after the screen goes dark. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and drop us a note in the comments letting us know what you want to see us do next.